I will now take the precedent for this meeting of the Planning Local Review Body held on the 24th of October 2024. The following members are present: Councillors Alec Allison, Jerry Convery, Colin Dewar. Gladys Ferguson-Miller is not present. And the following members are all present: Councillors Cal Johnson Dempsey, Leslie MacDonald, Richard Nelson, Norman Ray, Graham Scott and David Shearer. Thank you, and I'll pass you back to the Chair for today's business.
Thank you very much, Stuart. We'll just go into today's business. Agenda item number 1 then, any declarations of interest?
Declare interest in items 3 and 4 will be in communication with the developer and his agent to identify solutions.
Thank you very much. Councillor Allison, that is noted. We will ask you then at agenda item 3, just before we get into the business, just to leave, and then we'll invite you back in for agenda item number 5. Any further declarations of interest? No further declarations of interest. Agenda item number 2 then is minutes of the previous meeting. These are on pages 5 to 12 and submitted for approval as a correct record. I will move these as correct.
I'll second it, Chair.
All agreed? Anyone otherwise minded? Thank you. Agenda item number 3 is application P180330 for the erection of 6 detached dwellings and attached garages together with construction of access roads at Huntly Bank, Lanark Road, Wren Street and Lanark. Item before us today is notice of review from Neville Design on behalf of Jai and W. Cruikshank. The applicant is asking the PLRB to review the planning officer's determination to refuse an application for planning permission for the erection of 6 detached dwellings and attached garages together with construction of access roads at Huntly Bank, Lanark Road, Wren Street and Lanark. Details of the proposals, the officer's report of handling and the information submitted by the applicant are provided in the papers that have been distributed to members on pages 13 to 108. Before proceeding to carry out this review, I want to invite the legal advisor to cover a procedural matter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In terms of the relevant legislation, unless the local review body itself requests further written evidence or it is requested as part of a hearing session, no new evidence can be produced by any party. The further representation by the applicant's agent on page 107 is redacted as he sought to introduce new information which was not provided with the original application nor in the notice of the review and so has not been included in today's papers. And this is in respect of the road safety audit from 2014.
Thank you very much. The first point then for the PLRB to consider and decide is how to proceed with this review. The applicant has indicated that they consider the review can be concluded based on the review of the information provided by them and other parties and that no further procedures are required. Taking account of what is in our papers, we have to decide whether they do in fact contain sufficient information for us to determine the review today, or if we need more written information, a hearing or a visit to the site. I think all the information we have, plus the detailed photographs we have of the site, provide us with all we need to consider this review. Do members therefore agree that we can proceed without a site visit, hearing or additional information? Agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. We will then proceed to the review, and I'll open the review then for discussions or comments. If you please indicate now. Okay, can I summarise the points made then? The application is for the erection of dwelling houses and garages on land at Huntly Bank, Lanark Road, Wren Street, Lanark. If we consider that there is no valid policy justification to support the erection of 6 houses and detached garages, together with the construction of access roads at this location, and it would not accord with the development plan, planning permission can be refused. Or, if we consider that there is adequate justification for the erection of 6 houses and attached garages together with construction of access roads at this location, we could grant planning permission subject to conditions. Can I invite for any decisions and reasons, please, if you please indicate now. Okay, are members then minded to uphold the officer's decision to refuse planning permission? Councillor Shearer?
Yeah, it was just to ask a question. This site seems to be part
of the local plan, or was at one point with the information that's been given to us. Can I just check, is it currently part of the local plan as a potential housing site, or has that been removed?
I'll ask Tony just to confirm.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Councillor Shearer, in the adopted local development plan 2, the vast majority of the site is within the settlement boundary for Ravensstrother, so it's identified as potentially suitable for housing. However, there is a small proportion of the site that lies out with the settlement boundary, and that's the bit of land that the reasons for refusal refer to. Hope that helps.
Chair, if I could just come back.
Yep.
Given that most of the site is within the settlement boundary and therefore is suitable for housing development, surely this could have been sorted out through discussions whereby the small piece of land, either the applicant justifies that or doesn't justify it, and if so, the application could be adjusted accordingly.
Yes, thanks, Chair. Yes, Councillor Shearer, the case officer took the view that because of the small amount of land that was out with the settlement boundary, that was meant the application was contrary to the development plan, and they took the decision, and the view was that the proposal didn't comply with policy, so that's the reason why it was refused on the grounds of land use, so some of the site laid outside the settlement boundary. It's obviously up to members today to decide whether that was the right course of action by the case officer, but that's the view that they took at the time.
Thank you. Can I then invite for any decisions and reasons? We didn't have any. Is there any now before I move to refuse the planning permission? Are the members? Councillor Shearer.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move that we grant this application, given that the reason for refusal is about a minor piece of land at the edge of the site, and that the bulk of the site is within planning the settlement site of Renstray, so therefore should be permittable. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I would need to get a seconder for you, but I must stress about the roads issue. There's a roads issue in here, Councillor Shearer, as well, that I don't know if you've taken into consideration before you grant, because the next item is on the road. So just before we do move to that.
The next item, Chair, we are dealing with that as a separate issue.
Yes, but still an issue, and it's still part of these papers of the roads issue. So I'd like you to take that into consideration. You're within your right to move it, but I would still make it clear that there is a roads issue in here. It's still part of this paper, so you're within your right to move it. Okay, I'm looking for somebody to second it. There is no seconder, therefore I will uphold the officer's decision to refuse planning permission.
I'll second it, Chair.
All agreed. Thank you. Therefore, the next stage is that a final written decision notice will be issued by the PLRB, and this should be issued within 28 days. We'll move then on to agenda item number 4, please. And this is a review of case in respect to planning application P180330, pages 13 to 108. Item before us today is a notice of review from Neville Design on behalf of Giant W. Cruikshank. The applicant is asking the PLRB to review the planning officer determination to refuse an application for the formation of a new vehicle access road with associated land engineering operations on land 50 metres southwest of 1 Huntley Bank Gardens, Renstray, Lanark. Details of the proposals, the officer's report of handling and information submitted by the applicant are provided in the papers that have been distributed to members. The first point then for the PLRB to consider and decide is how to proceed with this review. The applicant has indicated that they consider the review can be concluded based on review of the information provided by them and other parties, and that no further procedures are then required. Taking account of what is in our papers, we have to decide whether they do in fact contain sufficient information for us to determine the review today, or if we need more written information, a hearing or a visit to the site. I think that all the information we have, plus the detailed photographs we have of the site, does provide us with all we need to consider this review. Do the members therefore agree that we can proceed without a site visit, a hearing or additional information?
Agreed.
All agreed. Can we then proceed to review? And I'll open up for any discussions, comments, please, if you can please indicate now. Okay, the application then, I'll summarise. The application is for the formation of a new vehicle access road with associated land engineering operations on land 50 metres southwest of 1 Huntley Bank Gardens, Wrenstry and Lanark. If we consider that there is no valid policy justification to support the formation of a new vehicle access road at this location and it would not accord with the development plan, planning permission can be reviewed. Or if we consider that there is adequate justification for the formation of a new vehicle access road, we could grant planning permission subject to conditions. I will now invite for any decisions and the reasons behind those decisions. Are members minded then to uphold the officer's decision to refuse planning permission? Agreed?
Agreed.
And is anyone else otherwise minded? Therefore, the decision of the PLRB is to refuse planning permission for the reasons set out in the decision notice issued on the 28th of March 2024. The next stage is that a written notice, decision notice will be issued by the PLRB and this should be issued within 28 days. We'll then move to agenda item number 5 and we will ask Councillor Allison to return. Thank you. Agenda item number 5 then is review of case in respect of planning application P240367. These are on pages 219 to 306. And this is for the use of storage and distribution warehouse class 6 as soft play centre class 11 and installation of flue relating to ancillary kitchen at Graham's Building Merchants in Cadzow Industrial Estate in Hamilton. Members will be aware that the applicant's statement of appeal was omitted from the papers in error and was issued by the clerk on the 22nd of October. However, subsequent advice is that this review is to be deferred to the next meeting of the PLRB on the 4th of November to ensure that all the information in relation to the review is issued in accordance with the appropriate timescales. I would therefore ask if members are agreeing that this review be deferred for consideration on the 4th of November 2024.
Agreed.
Agreed. Anyone else otherwise minded? Thank you. Agenda item number 6 then. We have no items of urgent business. Can I ask the clerk to stop the recording of the meeting and wish everyone a good day? Thank you.